Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Marcus Wobschall. I'm an immigration attorney and I'm the founding attorney of Veritas Immigration Law, which is an immigration-only law firm located in Southwest Florida. In this video, I want to give you two big reasons why I really don't like spouse visas at all. It's really come out of my years of experience working with couples, going through the immigration process, and just working with the immigration system in general. And I want to pass this information on to you guys as clients and as couples because I don't want you to initiate a process or get trapped in a legal process that's going to stress your relationship with your spouse and stress your marriage. So with that being said, I want to get into the reasons why I don't like, and I really don't, if you can help it, I don't recommend spouse visas in general. The first reason I don't like spouse visas is because they're just taking way too long. USCIS is publishing their processing times, and in many cases it's well over 15 months. Sometimes it's 20 months that they're processing. Under normal circumstances, it usually doesn't take as long as their published processing times, but it still takes at least 12 to 15 and sometimes more months to get the I-130 adjudicated, which is crazy. Because the initial part of applying for a spouse visa, which is the I-130 application, really is not complicated. And in my opinion, it should not take USCIS over 15 months to make a bona fide determination on a marriage. And so, but that's just how it is right now. They're taking 14, 15 months for some of our cases to get these I-130s approved. And to me, that's just insane, especially in light of the fact that they seem to be prioritizing other petitions more. For example, fiancé visas are getting adjudicated around 6 months. And plus, just with all the other immigration that's going on, the CHNV and all these parole applications and things, they seem to be getting more attention from immigration than these American citizens who are sponsoring their spouses. And it makes no sense to me. I don't like it. It feels like U.S. citizens are getting thrown under the bus in getting their spouses to the United States. In many cases, it's taking 1.5 to 2 years before they can get a visa, which is just, it's insane. And so I really don't like that. And that's one big reason why I don't recommend going through a spouse visa path. The second reason why I don't like spouse visas in general is connected to the first reason, but it's not always like a cause and effect relationship. Is it causes too much strain on the relationship. Okay, so because the processing times are so long, sometimes it can take up to 2 years for the spouse beneficiary to get his or her visa. That much separation, that much physical separation can cause a lot of strain on the couple's relationship, right? Married couples should be together physically. And to be separated for that long really is in a lot of cases, it's damaging to the marital relationship. Again, that's not always the case. Some couples handle this process better than others. Some couples have more physical separation because they're maybe in, like, the countries are further apart, as opposed to some countries that are closer to the United States, and like Colombia, for example, and it's a little bit easier to travel. But some couples are literally worlds apart, and it's impossible for them to see each other physically. And so in those cases, it's very common for those relationships to kind of break down because they're just not around each other. And that is just not natural for a married couple. Like I said, married couples should be together. And so for that reason, I really don't, if you can control it, I really don't recommend doing a spouse visa. If a couple does decide to marry outside of the United States and pursue a spouse visa, I really recommend that you consult an immigration attorney before doing that to get a good idea of what the processing times are, but also just so that you can manage your expectations, that you're going to be going through a process that's going to take a long time, and you want to be able to go into that eyes wide open, knowing that you're going to be separated for a pretty substantial period of time, just as you're entering into your new marriage. So I understand that some couples may not be able to control it. Everybody's personal circumstances are different. But in the vast majority of cases, if you can control it, I really don't recommend pursuing a spouse visa because it does tend to cause strain on the marital relationship. So for those reasons, I very rarely recommend a spouse visa if you can control it. There are a couple things you can try to do to speed up the I-130s. For example, you can file for what's called a K3, which is a non-immigrant form of a spouse visa, but many times that doesn't actually speed up the process. So for clients who can control it, I almost always recommend that they pursue a fiancé visa over a spouse visa because of the processing times and because of the potential harm that it can cause or strain that it can cause on the marital relationship when you're separated for such a long period of time.